Hey, good morning. This is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life bringing you the AA Word of the Day for March 15th, 2025 is Saturday, and the word for today is the God idea. And this is going to be a little longer because I have a lot to read. I've never read step 3, and I also have the 12 promises, which are really wonderful. So before I begin, I'm going to read what step 3 is, the short version of it. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Very short, succinct. First, we came to the realization that we had an issue that we couldn't solve ourselves. Second, we recognized that there was someone who could do it, and that person was God. And three, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. So it's a natural progression from realizing we're out of control, knowing that there is someone who can set us right, and then making the decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood. And there's also, they make a promise, so this is like a TV infomercial. I mean, these are the 12 promises as quoted from the AA Big Book. And it says Big Book here. That's the big blue book. And these are read at almost every meeting that I've ever been to. And after the 12th, there's a little refrain. A question is asked, and the whole group comes together in one voice and says, "We think not." And you see how it goes if you've never been to an AA meeting. So these are the 12 promises. 1. We are going to know a new freedom and happiness. 2. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. 3. We will comprehend the word serenity. 4. We will know peace. 5. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. 6. That feeling of uselessness and self pity will disappear. 7. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. 8. Self seeking will slip away. 9. Our whole attitude and outlook on life will change. 10. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. 11. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. 12. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. These extravagant promises, we think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. That's a powerful statement. They will always materialize if we work for them. So, the word of the day is the God idea. And this is the quote: when we saw others solve their problems by a simple reliance upon the spirit of the universe, we had to stop doubting the power of God. Our ideas did not work, but the God idea did. Like a blind man gradually being restored to sight, I slowly groped my way to the third step. Having realized that only a power greater than myself could rescue me from the hopeless abyss I was in, I knew that this was a power that I had to grasp, and that it would be my anchor in the midst of a sea of woes. Even though my faith at the time was minuscule, it was big enough to make me see that it was time for me to discard my reliance on prideful ego and replace it with steady strength that could only come from a power greater than myself. And this is so true. The prideful ego. I want to be able to drink. I want to be able to drink the way I want. I want to devote most of my time to procuring alcohol. When you're in the middle of it, you don't realize how egotistical your actions are. You say, well, I'm a really nice person. I don't bother anyone. I don't do this. But your whole life is focused on alcohol. And, when I think of all the times, all the liquor stores I went to, so I wouldn't buy too much and figuring out a route. So, figuring how many cases I could get in the back of my S10 before they really started to show up above. Uh, it was crazy thinking. Crazy, crazy, crazy thinking. Filling up, I had one of those crushers. I put it to one of the beams in my garage. It was a big wooden beam. And I just put the can in there and then crush it down. It came out about, I don't know, about that big. And I had an apartment upstairs in this old farmhouse that I owned. So when I decided to put in new refrigerators, I put in one in my apartment, then one in the other apartment. So I had like these 7-foot cardboard boxes. And it wasn't too long before I filled them up with the little tiny crushed cans. And then I said to myself, how the heck am I going to get rid of these things? I can't bring a 9-foot, 7-foot thing down to the front of the house filled with beer cans. What would they think of me? And so I left them in the garage. It was worth a lot of money too for the aluminum. I think at that time it was going 44 cents a pound. I forget exactly, but I did end up going to a junk dealer and selling the cans back. Uh, Rhode Island at that time did not have uh, the rebate thing, where you could bring the cans back and get 5 cents for them. They didn't have that then. You had to go to Massachusetts, which wasn't too far from where I worked, but they were always crowded. There was always a line to get money for the cans. It could be beer cans, soda cans, and so I rather sell them in bulk. And what are the false beliefs that we talked about here? One, that I can control my drinking, and then one strong that I could control my behavior, and I could do neither thing. And the die was determined as soon as I picked up the first drink. And I mentioned that many times. That concept of the first drink. It's the first drink that gets you drunk. It's not the 15th or the 16th. You're on your way when you pick up that first drink. That's exactly how I was. Because actually, if I knew that I couldn't drink as much as I wanted to drink when I started drinking, I wouldn't drink. I did that a few times. When with my father, I said I don't want to act like a jerk because I knew every time I do. So I'm not going to drink. But I couldn't extend that to a daily reprieve. I just did it on special occasions when I didn't want to really annoy my father too much, because he used to have some beer there. He had a lot of sons, and they'd come over and he'd buy. It was actually like a no-name beer. It wasn't that good, but when you wanted the beer, at that time, maybe I was 26, 27. My youngest brother was 12, so everybody was younger than me. So the God idea, crucial. You can't really have the spiritual development that we need to improve our lives, and the 12 steps it is a spiritual program. There's no way you can deny it. And although AA is not insisting when you come in that you believe in a power greater than yourself, all they want is that you have a desire to stop drinking. And they welcome you back every single time you go off the wagon. Even pray that you come back, because not everyone makes it back. My brother Brian didn't make it back. My brother Jim never attempted to make it back. My brother Michael, he quit, but his drinking led to other things, and that eventually took his life. So this is a very crucial step. They're all crucial. They're talking about the cornerstone step. These are all crucial steps for everyone. And I've seen the promises come true. And at the end, the little refrain at the end, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. I've seen them very slowly in some people. Uh, but I've even seen exes, husband and wife that have split up. I've seen some of them come together. I've seen some of them become civil with one another. And I've seen some spouses very happy that they could finally trust their children with their spouse. A lot of the reasons they uh, wouldn't let a spouse when he was drinking see the kids is that they're feared for their safety. That's a lot of that down here in Florida. Parents driving drunk with the kids in the car. That's very dangerous. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoy the reading of the promises. I'll try to do it maybe a month, make it a monthly reading, because it tells us exactly what we can expect. For no peace, I've experienced peace, and our experience can benefit others. I've spoken at meetings. Our whole attitude and outlook on life will change. Oh yes, mine has. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which once baffled us. Yes, freedom and happiness. We don't regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. The past, say there's nothing you can do about the past, well, you can learn from it. Speak about your experience, which is the past, and it says here it will help others. So I've gone on for 14 minutes. That's a long time for these short broadcasts, and so I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a safe and sober Saturday.